kids, welcome to Terry on Tuesday, and yes, it's the video you've all been waiting for. Well, at least one of you. We're back with the Vl'Hurg Commander helmet after a couple of weeks of not being able to do it through business and being, not business, but busyness and Kickstarters and all sorts of stuff going on. So we're here in the kitchen of creation to do some more work on the helmet today. He still has his temporary nose on, which looks cool. We may find a way of making it more permanent, but not this week. This week, I want to start working on the leather or faux leather flaps that he has hanging off. He has 4 hanging off the face here and then a big shroud around the back. So I've done some printouts of my original sketches. So we've got the 4 across the front and then a large one at the back. Actually, that's wrong. It's actually a straight line. It doesn't hang down. It's quite a straight line. Anyway, we'll be doing that in this video. But first, from last week, you may remember I bought a, I'll put the clip up here. I bought a very cheap plastic kids BB gun, and I thought I'd Starsy Warsy it up a little bit. Well, let's get on with that for a second and show you where it is right now.
So it may look like I'm cleaning my garden, and I have been, but what I'm actually doing is putting some dirt into a plastic mail bag, putting the gun in, and then like the old salt and shake crisps, shake it all up for a couple of minutes. Pull the gun out. It should be nicely weathered once you take the dust off.
Okay, so that was where it got to with a bit of the help of a bag of dirt. You dirt bag, I guess that's where the word dirt bag came from. So I've decided that I wanted to put some of that hazelnut brown paint onto the gun. So I've masked it up. All I'm doing is this section here, the back up to about there, the handle, not doing the trigger, and I'm also going to do this section here, this ring around here. I'm going to mask off the front of the barrel, nozzle, get rid of that and leave that for the hazelnut brown. So I'm just going to mask the front of this off and then we take it outside to paint it. So while we're waiting for the paint on the gun to dry, let's talk Vl'Hurg stuff. So I want to do the 4 leathery flaps from the front of the mask. So I printed out a screenshot, and the blue lines is a measurement from the edge of the mask. Now that is equal to that blue line, which is the shortest edge of the side flap, and also it's the same as the width of that one. The yellow is a bit trickier. I've measured from the top of the eyes to the bottom of the mouthpiece, and it's a little shorter. So from there to there is the same length as that yellow one, but I can see that the flaps are a little bit longer, about ½ an inch, so that's not going to be too noticeable. I still have, thankfully, the template I used to cut the mask out, which makes life a little easier. What I think I'm going to do is put it down on some paper. Let's get you a little closer. Come a little closer. There we go. Here we go. Okay. So, as we've worked out in this drawing, the height, a ruler would come in handy, but not that one. A tape measure would come in handy. So, we have 6½ inches. So we did say that the middle is a little longer. So that would be 7. So it's 7 inches by the blue there, which is the height of this piece here, which is already 4 inches. 4 inches. I'm going by inches at the moment because what I have found when I was making Marvin looks like that, by the way, When I was making Marvin, it dawned on me that Marvin would have been made mostly by old school prop makers and set builders who would probably be working in inches in 1981, 1979, 80, whatever. And I was right, almost everything falls within perfect inch measurements. So rather than converting to decimal, I'll just carry on and do it in inches for now. So we've worked out that we'll start with the two short ones at the front. Now they mirror each other, so I only need to make templates for 2, and then we'll have the front done. I just want to check. So from the centre of the mouth to the end of the first flappage is about there. Let's have a quick look. I have to move it along a little bit. There we go. 10. I would say 3.5 inches. Okay, let's scribble this down. So we're looking for the first flap here is the height. Again, can't remember. Was it 7? I think it was 7 inches. I can't rewind the video, you see. Unfortunately, I can't rewind the video. Yeah, it's 6.5, so 7 inches to there. 3.5 inches that way. Now, the tricky one here, I think it's a little wider. You can't quite, you see, I think it gets wider at the bottom. These are not perfect. Where's my other drawing? Here we are. Yeah, and they're not perfect rectangles. They are wider at the bottom, and I think they don't join together, but they meet nicely at the front like that. So I will give it a little bit of width at the bottom than it is at the top. So 3.5. I will go for 4 inches like that, and I cut it up on a little bit of an angle too. So 4 inches. Alrighty, so it's 3.5 across the top, 4 inches at the bottom, and 7 inches tall. I'm going to make a template out of paper, I think. So we'll imagine this edge is our centre line, right down the middle. Where's the tape measure? There it is. Wish I had my ruler. It's not here. Right, okay. You may notice I'm measuring from using 10 as my 0. It's because this tape measure is so old there's almost no paint left on it. But I refuse to get a new one because I had this in 1989. Was it 89? I'll tell you now. I've scraped on here, if you can read it. You see that? TC was ear, 19th of the 9th, 89. My first proper job after leaving school. So that's why I don't really want to throw it out. Been through a lot, me and this tape measure. Just like Chewy. Anyway. So 7 inches to there. 3.5 inches across the top.
A few drawings later.
So, should we cut this out? Ironically, I've got a scalpel here, but this is actually sharper than my scalpel at the moment. So this should be flap number 1. Let's have a look at that. Now, bear in mind I haven't built any extra on the top to tuck behind, but for now, that looks rather good. Let's compare it to, yeah. Now, this is another thing that you'll realise about me. I do not think too deeply about things, for I'm not a philosopher. That's a rap joke. But we do need extra to go up to here, to go right up to the curve. It's not a straight line. We worked out the distance, but we still need more up here. Obviously that goes there. But the tooth, and the whole tooth and nothing but the tooth, and that goes there. So now I know right, so that's our shape, but we do need extra to glue on. So I'm going to keep all this, and I'm going to keep all that as well, and then we're going to cut that off. And that, ladies and gents, is a template for both the front ones. So obviously that goes on like that, and then we flip it, and that will also go on like that. So we have two. This is our new edge line. Never mind that one. Never mind that one. So we've got a slightly narrower shape, which is much more pleasing to me. And these would go about there. Can you see that properly? Slightly better. And then these will go there. I can live with that. But I guess this is what you do with dressmaking. You know, you cut out your basic shapes, but then you cut extra so you can fold nice edges over. You also don't want this kind of edge where it's just been cut. You want a nice folded over edge like that, you know, which we shall do. This is a good time to pop outside and see how the gun's doing with the spray paint. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, let's see how sticky it is, because it is gloss paint. Oh. Okay, so looks fine, but Houston, we have a problem. I think the temperature out here, you see that what they call orange peeling going on, crackling going on all around here, and badly under here. That I think is the temperature. Yeah, I can push it and it goes down flatter. So I think it's the temperature out here. It was too hot. So the outer skin of the paint has dried under the heat, and as a result it's contracted. But do you know what? I don't care. Handle's not too bad. A little bit on there. Not much paint on there. See, that's nice. But a much thinner edge. See, that's what happens when you put it on thick. That's what happens. The outer goes off before the inner, and that's how you get orange peeling. But this is very, very fine. And as a result, no orange peeling, so I'm going to put a little bit on here to cover this, and then I'm just going to bring it indoors. So I brought the gun in, so kind of asphyxiating myself with paint fumes in here, but it obviously got a lot cooler. It was sunny when I was spraying it to begin with. And it got a bit cooler out here, and I think that's what made the outer gloss contract and go all wrinkly. I don't care. I don't care. It's a personal prop. It's not a commission. It's never going to be noticed too well. It's just like a fun thing, really. But I was lucky that didn't happen with my Liberator bracelet, which I did use that paint for. And when I'm painting this chap in resplendent red, and obviously the face in gold and that, I would be very careful about that. Thin coats, kids, thin coats. It doesn't pay to rush it. So, I'm going to cut these out of material, but I'm not going to cut out using the burgundy material. I have a pair of sleeves from an old pleather jacket, and I think it might be better to cut the flaps out of these and tape them in place to see what they look like before we actually start using up the more expensive pleather. There's going to be a few edits in this video. It's already stupendously long, So when you see time jumps, it's because I don't want to make another half-hour video. Now I should be putting paper down underneath, because this will slice my table up if I don't want that to happen really. So let's go. A bit more gaffer. Can you see what I'm doing? Good. As you're watching this on Tuesday, we still have open auditions for the Bloody Students film. We're still looking for actors, one actor, one actress, to be our lead characters. Info in the link below in the description if you are interested in auditioning for that. We've had some auditions already. We've had some very good auditions already, to the point where I could pick 2 lead characters right now if I wanted. But we're going to hold it open till the end of July. Basically, the 1st of August is the cut-off point. So basically get them all in by the end of July. I wouldn't hang about if I was you. I'm close to making a decision now, but again, that's better. Again, I reserve the right to close the auditions whenever I feel I've got 2 very good actors. And to be honest, I already have. So if you want to audition for the film, check the link in the description and get your self-tapes in, because in fact, if you look on my channel, you'll see an auditions video. You'll see 2, in fact, and that'll tell you all about what to do and what to say and how to audition. But does that? Yeah. I mean, straight down. That goes straight down here. It goes up by the right amount. That carries on the same angle. You can see what I'm doing, and they both taper out a little bit, which is good. And I am happy with that. So when I'm cutting these templates out of the real stuff, I think we need to oversize them a little bit, fold over to make nice folded edges, which will stiffen up a lot. I mean, this is flimsier material than the actual vinyl I have. But once the edges are folded, they will become a lot stiffer anyway. So I think they'll hang quite nicely. But I'm happy with that. I'm going to go and cut all 4 of these out. No, I'm not. Why? Because I don't have enough glue to glue the edges. I need to go buy some glue, and being Sunday afternoon, ain't nowhere I'm going to get no glue. So I think this video has been long enough. Now we have these done. In the next video, which I promise will be next week, I will have 4 templates cut out. We may even have a template for the shroud at the back. And we'll glue the edges, we'll get the studs on, and we'll see what they're like. I'll tape them in place, obviously, temporarily, and we'll see what we have as regards facial flaps. Make your own jokes up. Okay, so this has been a super long video, and I'm going to cut it here. We will look at the gun next week, and we will have some more progress on the flaps, hopefully all 4 done, and look at the back shroud. It's been a super long one, for which I apologise. It hasn't been that interesting, but hopefully we'll have a gun and we'll have the face to show you next week. So that's all from me. Don't forget the links in the description for the Bloody Students auditions running till the end of July, and that's it. Take care now. Bye bye then.